Hi, fellow sapiens. Have you ever wondered why we humans always crave adventure? Despite living in urban cities, why do we turn to nature to soothe our soul? What is it in the wild that drives us towards it? In this episode of Roohbaru Exploring India, we are off to find these answers in the laid-back coastal town of Gokarna. In the previous episode, we explored the commotion of India's favorite travel destination, Goa. We told you everything about our experiences there except for one thing that happened on our last night in Goa.
Hello people, how are you all? It's day 14 of Roohbaru Exploring India and we are headed from Goa to Gokarna. So there is a little tragedy that has happened that sort of funny. That Siddarth has just received rabies shots. Reason being that at the Osran beach yesterday, while he was playing around in the water at the sea, he accidentally stepped upon a sleeping dog and the dog in turn bit him before he's sleeping back in the van.
Since the previous night was a toughie for all, the journey from Goa to Gokarna, although being just 3 hours long, did feel a little exhausting. But the minute we arrived into the wilderness of Gokarna, all the fatigue vanished. Our first stop here was the Gokarna main beach. Unlike Goa, where the vehicles are parked quite close to the beach, arriving at the beaches of Gokarna does take some walking. But the efforts are all worth when a white sand beach and the expansive Arabian Sea awaits you in all its glory. With only a handful but beautiful cafes on the main beach, the vibes here are very peaceful and in harmony with the nature. The crowd here is sparse, so solitude is an added gift apart from the beautiful views.
Guys, ये हमारी कार है और ये पारी हो रही है.
Having explored the cafes here, we moved to try an experience that we had many times in the mountains but would be our first on the coast. We are talking about a hike and a DIY camping.
Mountain first. चाहे मेरे हालत खराब होती हो चलने में मेहनत करने में, but this is the vibe I like. So mountain versus beach वाला question का शायद मुझे conclusion मिल जाएगा by the end of the.
Now the beaches of Gokarna are connected by a forest trail which is a little difficult but a worthy way to arrive at the gorgeous views. After an hour of trekking, we got the first glimpse of the sea, peeking through the bushes of the jungle. There it was, the beautiful Paradise Beach, right in front of us. Now there are quite some preset campsites on the beach and you can choose to check in these if you're not into DIY. However, we wanted to go all raw, so we walked a little ahead of the Paradise Beach to an enclosure which the locals call Small Hell, and let us tell you, it is everything opposite to what hell looks like. In fact, it is the definition of paradise. We found a flat land to pitch our camps, securely protected by huge rocks in front of us, so that the waves don't reach the camps. Yet, the rocks didn't block the view of this beach, making it the perfect place to camp for the night. Now the camps were all set and it was time to fetch wood for the campfire. After all, what's a camp night without some grilled food? Collecting wood, making fire, cooking our food just right next to the sea transported us back in time, just the way our ancestors might have done. We made efforts for things that are otherwise available at a hand's stretch in our modern life. But here, every effort made us value everything even more and somehow made us feel closer to ourselves. Maybe it is the natural belonging of us Homo sapiens that makes us feel at home in the wild. Such experiences take us back to our roots, where survival rules out all the other instincts. After a beautiful night, we'll be exploring yet another beautiful beach of Gokarna, the Om Beach. The beach earned its name due to its shape, which appears to be like that of the spiritual symbol Om. Shalom, good people. Today we've seen our last sunset in Gokarna. Just now the sun has set and we are at the Om Beach. And I think it was a beautiful end to the 3 days that we had in Gokarna. The place is absolutely beautiful, absolutely pretty, so heavenly. Reason being, it's very away from the hustle of the Goan beaches. Like, there are not too many shacks around and there are not too many people around, so it's very isolated and very peaceful in that manner. And the best part about this Gokarna coastline is that it has a very, very lush green tree line around side the coast. So this is something that I really loved, and it kind of differentiates it from the other beaches, which are usually sandy and rocky. But as you guys can see here, the whole coastline is, enclosed with a very beautiful lush green tree line. If one is to compare the two places, Goa and Gokarna, we'd say both these places are unique in their fields. Goa is identified by easy-to-access beaches, modern facilities and all-nighters of party, whereas Gokarna is more about solitude, into the wild and rawness. So let nobody tell you to ditch one and go for another, because we are telling you to go for both. Next up, we are headed towards Udupi for a short one-night stay. While traveling from Gokarna to Udupi, you can visit the MURDESHWAR temple, which is a very significant temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. Even we halted here for a little while to admire the larger-than-life statue of Lord Shiva on the seaside and then continued our journey to Udupi.
पूरे व्लॉग में ना सिर्फ तुम दिख रही थी और मुझे बहुत जलन हो रही थी, तो अब अगले व्लॉग में मैं देखूंगा। मिलते हैं अगले व्लॉग में।
Just few minutes on the road and it hit us that we were actually traveling between the backwaters and the sea. After the beautiful drive, we arrived at the temple city of Udupi. Udupi is a big city in Karnataka with all facilities and especially medical. We have 2 reasons to stay in Udupi. Firstly, Sid needs to get his second shot of rabies vaccination, and secondly, before we enter the state of Kerala, we need to get ourselves tested for COVID. Tonight, we decided to ditch the hotel and sleep in the caravan. Our caravan provider Trippy Wheels has tie-up with a lot of properties where you can park your caravan, sleep in and use the restrooms too. Our caravan is a 4-seater arrangement. 2 people can sleep in the van and 2 people can pitch a camp and sleep in there. The tent is provided by the company and the drivers are well trained to set it up for you. With this, we registered another beautiful night in another beautiful setting. Gokarna was everything that the adventure lover in us was craving for. After experiencing the hikes, the camping and the caravanning, we'll be shifting the mood towards the luxury in God's own country, Kerala.